Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Welcome and thanks to my new subscribers as well. Hope you all had a really nice day. Hope you were able to watch the Earth, Wind and Fire battle last night with Isley Brothers. Absolutely amazing, you know. So huge respect to those guys. Absolute legends. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about ancestry and DNA. So for the longest time, people have always asked me like, where are you from? So they're not asking like which part of the UK, or they're not interested in London and all of that stuff. They actually want to know, where are you from? So I thought, okay, today let me make a quick video about that. Just the update on my ancestry DNA, and also just to consider like what that could mean on the continent. Like could potentially ancestry and DNA have leverage in terms of having more of a say on the continent, or having more rights, or having some particular rights anyway. So by that, for example, I mean in Sierra Leone, so if your ancestry comes back as having Sierra Leone, having been Sierra Leonean, or you have any sort of Sierra Leone DNA in your ancestry, you're granted a passport. Like immediately, you can get a passport. So you're free to travel there. You have a ceremony, and you're welcomed as a Sierra Leonean. They'll welcome you back home. So in a way, that's Sierra Leone's way of recognizing the transatlantic slave trade, and basically what happened in terms of the migration of people from one land to another against their will. So when you think about the fact that for many of us living in the diaspora, we are like the original diaspora, right? So we were denied our land, we were denied our name, we were denied our culture, we were denied absolutely everything. So really, in a way, it's like having your birthright stolen. So whereas now you have groups fighting for land and recognition and separation, you know, I can resonate with that, and also hopefully they'll be able to resonate with what happened to us as a people in general, because that is actually what happened. We didn't have any. It was, in fact, you know, I would argue it was worse. We had nothing, and not even a name. So when you're denied all of that, it's like you really have to start from scratch. Obviously, some things remain. So when you go to the Caribbean, there is a very strong African culture that is still withheld there today. So for example, if you go to Montserrat is very West African, I would say, West African and Irish culture and traditions, as you had a lot of Irish indentured servants and plantation owners over there, in addition to West Africans who were transported there to work on the plantations, which were mainly sugar, predominantly sugar, not cotton, but sugar in Montserrat. So you have a mix of cultures there, an amalgamation of the two cultures. So if you go to any island on the Caribbean, there is a really strong African presence there that can be felt. So obviously, like in places like Brazil, in Haiti, again, very strong Igbo culture, very strong African influences, right? Because we're one people. We were just separated, and that is it, but we're still one people. So I guess in a way it's like looking at, okay, what really, because not everybody gets it. Like not everybody really understands that. I mean, when you think about colonialism, it did a real number on people. So you have people that although they, you know, would say, oh, we were never slaves, they were actually enslaved on their own land, because that is what colonialism is. Colonialism, it is enslaving of people. It is a total annihilation of your agency, and the idea and the belief that you are actually not as good as another group of people. And it's like, yeah, so when you think about it in that way, you would say, well, what would happen then if people who are able to trace their DNA back to the continent actually wanted to have political rights, wanted to have you know, their own, wanted to reclaim their identity, wanted to challenge like even traditional rulers. What happened if what would happen if people went back to the continent and said, listen, this isn't your throne actually, because, you know, and did some research into saying that, you know, your elders actually were partly responsible for what happened to my people, so I'm going to challenge you for this throne. Can you imagine that? Anyway, I don't know why I went down that road, because that's not what this video is about. This video is really about my ancestry thing, and just sort of clarifying a few questions that I'm always asked. So people always, initially when I first went to Africa, I went to Gambia. Gambia is like the first place for people, isn't it? That want to go to the continent, they always tend to go to Gambia or something, or Ghana. It's like route one for step one Africa, go to Ghana or go to Gambia or something like that. Actually, that's not fair. Like step one is probably Egypt or something. Yeah, that's more like it, like Egypt or Tunisia and all of that. But anyway, so when I went to Gambia, people always thought I was Gambian, so they would speak to me in Wolof, and they were actually really convinced that I was Gambian or Senegalese, to the point that I was actually convinced that I was Gambian or Senegalese. That's how convincing they were. They convinced me. So, but then I had to think about it, and obviously I kept an open mind, and you know, my dad was really tall, and I would place my dad's lineage more in East Africa as opposed to West Africa. Not saying West Africans aren't tall, but in like Ghana, for example, I would say not many people are that tall. I don't think it's a Ghanaian trait of tall men. You know, you might have some. I think there's more tall men in Nigeria, really. Don't know why I'm screwing up my face. There's nothing wrong with not being tall. Oh, God. Anyway, should we get to it? All right, let's get to it. So this was my DNA results, all right? And so when you keep asking me where I'm from, basically I was born in London. I was raised in London. My parents are Caribbean. They're from small island in the Caribbean next to Antigua. So my DNA Ancestry came back, and it said Nigeria was at the top of 33%, then Benin and Togo, which was 29%, then Mali, 15% Malian, 10% Cameroon, Congo and Western Bantu people, 5% Senegal. That was much lower than I had originally thought, right? Remember the story I told you about when I went to Gambia and everything. So this is now. So Ivory Coast and Ghana, again, that was quite a low percentage. It was 4%. And then you had Scotland with 2%. Now the Scotland thing, I don't know where that come from, because as I said, like Montserrat is an island. It was Irish. It's predominantly Irish. It's even known as the Emerald Island of the Caribbean because of the Irish indentured servants and the Irish plantation owners. So maybe there's some Scottish man slinking somewhere. some Scottish brother got in there or whatever. Is only 2%. And then Ireland is 1%. So predominantly it's Nigeria and Benin, Togo, and Mali. So that region, which again is kind of really interesting, right? So I would really love to be able to trace my dad's, like the patrilineal side of things, and see like where that, if my suspicions are correct in that. I think that my dad was East African. I'm kind of convinced of it. Honestly, I really am. I think he was East African. So, well, can't say I'm convinced of it. It's just a hunch, really. So that's it. So do you think that when you do your DNA and your genealogy and it comes back with specific countries, Do you think that African countries should do like what they do in Sierra Leone? So Sierra Leone, if it comes back Sierra Leonean, they give you a passport. You understand? As far as they're concerned, you're Sierra Leonean. You've come back. You've come back to your homeland. I do think it will be good for other African countries to do that, to recognize their people a lot more. I do think there is a lot of power in the diaspora right now that is untapped. It's not just about remittances and sending money back. It's about ideas, and it's about how people work together, strength in numbers and all that kind of thing. But you know, there is an untapped resource there. But obviously, I mean, that's another video altogether regarding, you know, how African leaders lead or not lead, right? That's another video. So that's it. Have you done your DNA genealogy? Did it mean anything to you? You know, what it meant to me, it was like, you know what Dr. Umar said recently was that we are Pan-Africanists. We are like the children of the children of the soil, the children of the trade, you understand, that came and, you know, had to build their life in the UK, had to build a life in the Caribbean, had to build a life in the US. We are the real Pan-Africanists, you understand, because we can trace our lineage across the continent because the people were taken from all over, you understand. So when you talk about Pan-Africanism, I feel like, you know, you understand, the blood of my ancestors make me a Pan-Africanist, right? So, you know, the Benin, the Togolese, the Nigerian, the Senegalese, the Bantus, all of those people, right? Different people. That is true Pan-Africanism, you understand? Because I love all of these people. So tell me what you think about, if you've done your DNA, hit me up, let me know what you think, and I will see you again on the next video. All right, peace.